What if the strangest thing about humanity is not that we dreamed of gods, but that so many gods dreamed of making us from dirt? Across ancient civilizations, in stories separated by deserts, rivers, mountains, oceans, and thousands of years, the same image keeps returning with haunting force. A god bends down toward the earth, takes clay, mud, dust, or soil into divine hands, shapes it into a human body, and somehow gives it life. Before humans are kings, warriors, prophets, lovers, builders, sinners, or heroes, they are something far more humble. They are earth held for a moment in the hands of heaven. This idea appears again and again. In Mesopotamia, humans are shaped from clay to serve the gods and carry the burden of labor. In Egypt, the ram-headed god Khnum forms human beings on a potter's wheel, shaping bodies like vessels before life enters them. In Greek mythology, Prometheus molds humanity from earth, giving form to a fragile creature that will later stand between the world of beasts and the world of gods. In Chinese tradition, Nuwa creates human beings from yellow earth, carefully shaping the first people by hand, then making others more quickly from mud. In many traditions, humanity begins not as light, not as fire, not as pure spirit, but as clay, wet, soft, ordinary, and close to the ground. Why did so many cultures imagine us this way? Why would gods, who rule the sky, command the sea, carry the sun, or speak creation into existence, choose something as low and common as mud to make humanity? The answer is not simple, because clay is never only clay in mythology. Clay is earth, but it is also possibility. Clay is weakness, but it is also form. Clay is dirt, but in the hands of a creator, dirt becomes a face, a body, a vessel, a life. To say that humans were made from clay is to say something profound about what ancient people believed we are: shaped, fragile, unfinished, dependent, mortal, and yet mysteriously capable of holding something divine. Clay is one of the most powerful materials in the ancient imagination because it lives between states. It is not stone, fixed and hard. It is not water, formless and flowing. It is earth mixed with moisture, matter waiting to be shaped. A hand can press it, bend it, stretch it, wound it, repair it, and give it form. In a world before factories and machines, people understood creation through touch. Pots were made by hand. Bricks were formed from mud. Tablets were pressed with writing. Houses rose from earth. Bowls held food. Jars held water, oil, grain, and memory. Clay was everywhere because civilization itself was built from it. To ancient people, clay was not worthless dirt. Clay was the material from which order could be made. That may be why gods become potters in so many stories. The potter looks like a small version of a creator. He takes shapeless earth and turns it into something with purpose. A lump becomes a vessel. A vessel becomes a container. A container becomes part of life. When ancient people watched clay being shaped on a wheel or pressed by hand, they were watching a tiny version of creation itself. The movement from mud to form to function, from function to meaning, must have felt almost magical. So when they asked where humans came from, one of the most natural answers was not that humanity appeared from nothing, but that humanity was shaped. In Egyptian mythology, this image becomes especially vivid through Khnum, the divine potter. Khnum is often imagined forming human bodies on a potter's wheel, creating not only bodies but destinies. This is a deeply intimate image of creation. The human being is not assembled from distant stars or produced by accident. The human being is turned, shaped, balanced, and formed by divine attention. Like a vessel, the body has a design. It can hold life, breath, spirit, and personality, but it can also crack. This is the beauty and terror of the clay image. A clay vessel can be sacred, but it is never invulnerable. That fragility is central to the myth. To be made from clay is to be breakable. Ancient people knew this through the simplest facts of life. Bodies age, skin dries, bones return to dust, strength fades, death pulls the human body back toward the earth. Clay creation myths do not hide mortality. They explain it. They say that humans die because we are made from the material of the ground. We rise from earth, walk upon earth, eat from earth, build with earth, and finally return to earth. The story is not only about where humans came from. It is about where humans are always going. But clay also explains why humans are not only animals. A beast may be born from the rhythms of nature, but the clay human is deliberately formed. There is intention in the shaping. There is design. The body may come from earth, but its form comes from a maker. This creates a powerful tension. Humans are low and high at the same time. We are dirt, but shaped dirt. We are mortal, but touched by gods. We belong to the ground, but we carry the mark of heaven. This tension may be one of the oldest ways mythology tried to explain the human condition. We are not gods, yet we imagine them. We are not beasts, yet we fear becoming them. We are something in between, and clay is the perfect symbol for that in-between state. In Mesopotamian myth, the creation of humanity from clay has a darker and more practical meaning. Humans are made to work, to relieve the gods from labor, to maintain temples, fields, rituals, and the order of the world. In this vision, creation is not only an act of love. It is an act of necessity. The gods need servants. The world needs workers. Humanity is shaped from earth because humanity belongs to the working surface of the world. We dig, plant, carry, build, harvest, and serve. The clay body is a laboring body. It is close to the soil because its purpose is tied to the soil. This may sound harsh, but it reveals something important about ancient civilization. Life was work. Survival required labor every day. Fields had to be watered. Animals had to be cared for. Bricks had to be made. Canals had to be cleared. Temples had to be maintained. The gods were not abstract ideas floating in the mind. They were powers whose presence structured society. To say that humans were made from clay to serve the gods was also to say that human life had a place in a cosmic system. The work of the hands was not meaningless. It continued the order that kept chaos away. In Greek mythology, Prometheus gives the clay image a different emotional weight. Prometheus is the figure who shapes human beings and later helps them by bringing fire. In his story, humanity is not simply a servant race. Humanity is a vulnerable creation that becomes dangerously ambitious. Made from earth, humans receive fire, skill, craft, and intelligence. They begin to rise above their original weakness. But this gift also brings conflict with Zeus, because the human being made from clay has now become something more than clay. This is the dangerous beauty of humanity in Greek myth. We are fragile, but we reach upward. We are formed from earth, but we steal from the sky. That upward reach is one reason clay creation myths are so compelling. Clay alone is not alive. A shaped body is still only a shape until something enters it. Breath, spirit, fire, divine word, sacred wind, or life force must come from beyond the earth. Many traditions imagine this second step in different ways, but the structure is often the same. Earth provides the body, the divine provides life. Humanity is therefore a union of two worlds. The body belongs below. The breath comes from above. Without earth, there is no form. Without breath, there is no living soul. A human being is the meeting place of mud and mystery. This may be the deepest reason gods made humans from clay. Clay alone is humble enough to explain our mortality, but sacred enough to explain our potential. It says we are not pure spirit because we hunger, bleed, sleep, suffer, desire, and die. But it also says we are not mere dirt because something has entered us that dirt does not possess. We think, remember, dream, worship, create, mourn, and ask why we exist. Clay gives us our limits. Divine breath gives us our longing. Together, they create the ache of being human. In Chinese mythology, the story of Nuwa offers another powerful version of this idea. Nuwa shapes humans from yellow earth, forming the first people with care. In some versions, she creates noble or original humans by hand, then uses a rope dipped in mud to create others more quickly. Whatever the social interpretation of that detail may be, the central image remains striking. Human life begins when a divine figure touches earth and gives it shape. Nuwa is not only making individuals. She is repairing loneliness in the world. The world exists, but it is incomplete until human beings appear within it. Creation is not finished until there is someone to inhabit it, speak within it, suffer within it, and remember it. This is an often overlooked part of clay creation myths. The gods do not make humans only because humans need gods. Sometimes the world itself seems to need humans. Without humans, Who names the animals? Who builds temples? Who tells stories? Who praises the dawn? Who buries the dead? Who looks at the stars and feels terror, beauty, and wonder at the same time? Clay is the material of the ground, but once shaped into humanity, it becomes the material through which the world becomes conscious of itself. In this sense, the creation of humans from clay is not only the birth of a species, it is the birth of memory. This is why the image still moves us. We know, even now, that we are made of ordinary matter. Modern science uses different language, speaking of elements, chemistry, biology, evolution, and the long history of life. But the ancient clay myth speaks emotionally to the same truth. We are made from the world. We are not separate from the ground beneath us. Our bodies belong to the same earth that grows forests, feeds rivers, holds bones, and receives the dead. Mythology says this through image rather than formula. It places a god beside a handful of mud and says, "Here is the beginning of you." But the clay myth also warns us against pride. If humans are made from clay, then every crown sits on dust. Every empire is built by beings who will one day return to the ground. Every king, warrior, priest, and philosopher begins as shaped earth and ends as earth again. The myth humbles humanity by reminding us that our origin is not golden, not celestial, not untouchable. We are made from the same substance that clings to feet after rain. Yet this humility is not meant only to degrade us. It is meant to place us correctly. We are neither nothing nor everything. We are not gods, but we are not meaningless. We are earth-given form, and perhaps that is miracle enough. The clay image also explains why humans can change. Stone resists transformation, but clay can be reshaped. Before it hardens, it is open to pressure, influence, damage, and repair. This makes clay a symbol not only of origin, but of moral and spiritual possibility. To be human is to be unfinished. We are shaped by gods, but also by parents, cities, stories, grief, love, fear, memory, and choice. We carry the fingerprints of everything that has touched us. Like clay, we can be marked. Like clay, we can be broken. Like clay, we can sometimes be remade. This may be why creation from clay feels more intimate than creation by command alone. A spoken creation can feel distant, but a shaped creation implies closeness. The maker must touch the material. The divine hand must come near the earth. The creator must bend down. That gesture matters. It suggests that humanity begins not with a god remaining far above, but with a god reaching downward. In that downward movement, mythology imagines a relationship between heaven and earth. Humans are not accidental debris. We are touched matter. We are the place where the high and the low meet. And yet, there is always sadness in the image. A clay figure can be loved by its maker, but it can still crack. It can be shaped beautifully and still fall. It can hold water, grain, oil, or ashes, but only for a time. This is the tragedy of humanity. We are vessels aware that we are vessels. We know we can break. We know those we love can break. We know everything we build can return to dust. The clay myth does not allow us to escape this truth. Instead, it gives the truth meaning. It says that fragility is not a flaw added later. Fragility is part of the original design. Maybe that is what ancient people understood better than we do. A thing does not have to be permanent to be sacred. A clay cup can be sacred because it carries water. A clay tablet can be sacred because it carries words. A clay body can be sacred because it carries breath, memory, love, grief, and the strange fire of consciousness. The value of a human life does not come from being unbreakable. It comes from what the fragile vessel holds while it is alive. So why did gods make humans from clay? Because clay told the truth better than any other material. It told the truth that we come from the earth and return to it. It told the truth that we are shaped by forces larger than ourselves. It told the truth that we are weak, dependent, and mortal. But it also told the truth that weakness can hold wonder, that mortality can hold meaning, that ordinary matter can become extraordinary when touched by imagination, breath, and divine intention. The ancient image of the god shaping clay is therefore not only a story about the beginning of humanity. It is a mirror held up to every human life. We are all being shaped. We are all carrying marks. We are all unfinished until the end. We are all vessels of dust trying to hold something eternal. And perhaps that is why this story appears again and again across the world. Not because ancient people lacked imagination, but because they recognized something profound. To be human is to be made from the lowest material and still reach toward the highest mystery. We are clay that looks at the stars. We are dust that remembers. We are earth that dreams of heaven. And in that impossible tension between mud and divinity, mythology found one of its most beautiful answers to the question of what we are. Thank you for watching this journey into the underworlds that shaped mythology across the world. If this video made you see ancient mythology in a new way, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more deep explorations into the gods, creation myths, forgotten symbols, and ancient fears that shaped human civilization.